Nobody wants to admit this, but music actually all affects us on a subconscious level, right? It affects the way we think, our emotional baseline, and the way we react to situations purely due to the lyrics and the type of music that we listen to. And there's different levels to it. And as a Christian, it's really important that you understand these concepts, because if you're letting music literally ruin your relationship with God, ruin your ability to follow Jesus Christ and his teachings, then that is something that we really need to work on. So first of all, music is an easy dopamine source. Now obviously this can lead to act as a drug in a sense. If you're severely addicted to music, you're always listening to it, you're never without it, you're sort of in a situation where you can't stop listening to it because it sort of fuels your baseline energy levels, your excitement, all this and that. That's not the way we want it, because obviously that means that we're limited to how music can affect us, right? So if we have a bad day, it's based on music. If we have a good day, it's based on music, which is not the way we want it to be. Now, obviously music can be a great source of dopamine in certain situations, like if you're working out or if you're doing some sort of physical exercise and you need that little dopamine push just to get that energy and the reps in. But if you're using it just to get to your baseline dopamine levels, then that's wrong. That's bad, because then you're reliant on it. So that's very important that you sort that out. Now, on the next deeper level, it goes into spirituality and how it affects the way you think, right? So you have to understand that the lyrics that you listen to, every single word literally gets stored in your subconscious mind. Now, you might not realize this, but your subconscious mind processes so many things beyond what you consciously recognize. So every single word in every single song that you listen to, you literally listen to and memorize in your subconscious mind if you're not in control of it. So it's really important that you understand this, because it will sort of kind of scare you to listen to all kinds of different music, because you'll know that you're literally going to listen to it and think about it all the time. And that's why sometimes you'll get a tune stuck in your head, and it's perhaps a song that you don't like, but it gets stuck in your head, and there's a reason for it. It's because usually it tends to be quite toxic, right? We can all agree. And it's because your subconscious mind is clinging onto something in those lyrics or that song or the association of that song. So it's really important that you stay away from this kind of music, because it will literally ruin your life in a lot of ways. A lot of people actually get very emotionally attached to the music, and depending on the lyrics, it'll actually affect their mood and behavior. And this isn't rare, it happens to a lot of us, and you'll notice it in your day-to-day life as well. If you listen to lyrics which talk about anger or revenge or this and that or the other, you will feel the same way about it when you're listening to it. You can feel it in your body, and when you stop playing the music, the emotional feeling doesn't just leave then, it continues on throughout the day. And it's the same with sad songs. It'll make you sad. The whole point in music is to literally affect us on a deeper level than just our ears. We suck it in, we listen to it, it really resonates with our soul in a way. So it's really important that you prioritize worship music. Now, obviously a lot of Christians are kind of put off by this idea because it might be a little bit cringe or not as energetic, right? But there's plenty of pop songs and amazing songs to listen to about God, right? So that if you just literally look on YouTube or whatever and type in like lively God songs pop or something, right? Or literally type in any genre and they'll come up with them. And it might not necessarily take that much away from the actual musical sense, right? But obviously the lyrics aren't toxic. If anything, they're fulfilling. So what that means is, yes, you'll still get the same stimulus from the background music itself, but the lyrics will actually empower you. You might learn something from it. You might feel a bit more loving or kind of generous. You might find a deeper love for God, it'll remind you of him. So it's really important that your go-to music is Christian worship music. Always, that's your number one. Whether you're sitting on a bus or you're sat on your bed, I don't know what, it doesn't matter, right? That's your go-to music. That's what you want to be listening to. Obviously, if you're exercising and you need that dopamine surge and you trust that it won't affect you too much and you don't let yourself listen to the worst kind of heavy metal or anything too toxic like that, then by all means go for something a bit more lively. Obviously, be careful and sort of notice and think about how you act afterwards, because it's really important that you track everything. You're in constant control of the situation. I appreciate you guys watching this. I hope you can learn something from this, and I'll see you next one. Bye.